Hey-ho and hi-de-ho, kiddos and kiddettes. What are we doing today? Well, the animal cracker bag has only traditionally been available in the 5x6 and the 6x10, and it's only partially lined. I've had lots of requests for, can you do the 7x11 and an 8x12? Can you make it fully lined, blah, blah, blah. So this is going to be a reissue of the animal cracker bag, except that it's going to be in all 4 sizes, and it's going to be fully lined. So, you are going to need, check your PDF for the measurements. This is a 6x10 bag, and I'm using the end of some rolls, so everything here is going to look huge. I'm just using up scraps. You're going to need 3 pieces of red, 2 for the front, 1 for the back, 1 piece of yellow, because there are 2 applique cages. There we go. Are we in? Yes. You will need a zipper that is 2 inches longer than the width of the bag. This is a 6x10, so at least an 8-inch zipper. You will need 1, 2, or 3 pieces of hardware. I am going to do 2 top attaches and a side attach. And because of that, I will need 3 pieces of 5/8 inch cross grain ribbon by 3 inches. For our zipper, we'll also need 2 pieces of 1 inch by 2 inch ribby ribbon, folded in half, ironed in half to make them 1 inch by 1 inch. Then you'll need the lining pieces. You'll need a lining for the front bottom. You'll need, oops, no, I think that's the front top. Boy, this was the last little bit of the stripies. Front bottom and the back. You'll also need tapey tape, needle and thread, scissors, all that good stuff. Go ahead and hoop up some medium weight cutaway. Medium weight cutaway, throw it in the machine and run color stop 1. I'll be back after 1. Okie dokie pokies, for the animal cracker bag, we have got our die line down. This is 1 inch, okay, that's 1 inch. Zipper tape is usually about 1 inch, so I want you to lay your zipper tape so that you just barely cover the top and bottom, and I want it nice and straight. The reason I'm not showing you is because today I woke up and chose chaos, and decided that the only zipper I have that matches is this hidden zipper for dressmaking. And it is 7/8 of an inch instead of 1 inch. So you're gonna see that my zipper is not covering my die lines. Don't be me. Do not wake up and choose chaos. Wake up and choose the right zipper. Oh well. Well, the other zipper I have is a darker red and I don't like it, so we're gonna go with that. Throw it in the machine, run color stop 2. Okie dokie pokey, we got zipper tack down and I did a pretty good job just eyeballing that bad boy. Go ahead and grab your 2 pieces of cross grain ribbon that have been, they're 1 inch by 2 inch, but folded in half, so now they're 1 inch square. And we are going to place these so that the fold is to the inside. And we've got about a 1/2 inch poking out and poking in, like so. Okay, and then we are going to tape them in place. We want to make sure that we are centered top and bottom on our die line. There we go. And then we're going to come over here and do the same thing right there, I tell you. Then we're going to grab 2 pieces of red vinyl. And we are going to make sure that the vinyl has been cut so it's nice and straight. And we are going to buck up those raw edges right up. Ooh, this is too big. See what happens when you grab from the scrap bin? Let me go cut that down. I'll be right back. Mo better. Way mo better. And we are going to make sure that our nice, straight, perfect edges on top and bottom are bucked right up against our teeth, or where our teeth would be if we weren't using a hidden zipper. And we are going to tape left and right to hold it securely in place while we run color stop 3. Throw that in the machine, and I will see you after 3. Voila. Okay, folks, we got our zipper nice and tacked down. You see that? Yay, awesome. Okay, we now have to do 2 little pieces of applique on this. So go ahead and throw this in the machine and run color stop 4 for the first die line. I will see you after 4. All right, guys and gals, we've got our first die line. So I want you to take yellow marine vinyl. And I want you to make sure you're covering top, bottom, left, and right of that die line. You don't have to use marine vinyl. You can use some interfaced yellow fabric. But we do need to do an applique over the cages. So go ahead and put either your fabric with SF101 on the back or your vinyl, and then go ahead and tape down, secure it, and run color stop 5. I will see you after 5. Okay, kiddos and cadettes, there we go. It's all zigzagged down. So we're going to take up the 3 tapes I put to hold this puppy in place. Ta-da! And we are going to applique cut around that. Like so. Remember, paddle goes on the zigzag. Get as close as you can. And because it is a zigzag, if you clip a stitch or two, it's not going to be the end of the world. And we want our scissors nice and sharp so that they just slide just like that. And come over here. Remember, turn the hoop, not the scissors. Although this is a roundy, so we're going to have to turn the scissors a little bit. Actually, I'm turning my body. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da. Come this way. And set this aside because we're going to need one more yellow in just a minute. And then get this last little bit here, like so. And then throw it in the machine and run color stop 6 for your next dye line. All right, we've got our next dye line. So take your yellow vinyl or your white fabric with some interfacing on it, whichever, whatever. Make sure that you are covering all of the dye line, left, right, top, bottom. Tack it in place, tape it in place, hold it in place. And then throw it in the machine and run color stop 7. I will see you after 7. And here we are with our last applique for this. So go ahead and take up your tapes. And set them aside for reuse later. Wow. It's got a little bit of a bubble in it. I'm going to go ahead and tape it down. And then I'm going to grab my scissors. And remember, paddle goes on top of the zigzag. And we want to just glide. We don't want to hacky. And come to a corner and turn. And then go up. And then go across. Whee! Go ahead and put a little positive tension. Pull away from the seaming with your left hand, or if you're a lefty, with your right hand, just to give yourself a little bit of separation so that you can get right in there and snip away. And there you go. All right, that's it for appliques and funky stuff. Color stops 8 through 16 inclusive. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 are all design steps. Follow your color map, throw it in the machine, and run 8 through 16. I will see you between 16 and 17. See you between 16 and 17. Peace. Ugh. Don't you hate it when life gets in the way? So this was supposed to be finished yesterday, but then life happened, and obviously it didn't. So we're going to pick back up where we left off. We have completed all the way to color stop 16. We're at 17. We need to go ahead and peel back a whole bunch of tapes. Wow. I got all the stuff going on, don't I? Open your zipper. Come here, zipper. Grab your seam ripper, put a small tear in your stabilizer, like so. Flip this bad boy over. We are going to cut just that 1/4 inch of center stabilizer out. While you're doing this, please, make sure that you are not cutting the zipper. You're not cutting the ribbon. You're not cutting the vinyl or fabric. You only want to cut a 1/4 inch width of stabilizer out from behind the zipper. This lets the zipper open. Well, first of all, it gives you a hole to get into the inside of the bag, but it lets the zipper open and close more easily without getting caught on stuff. Da-da-da. Oh, come here. I'm having a day. I had a day yesterday. joink. And then come here. Do as I say. There we go. Now we're going to flip it back over and close that zipper and put everything back where it belongs because we have to do the lining steps. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Okay, everything's back where it belongs. I'm going to flip this over and find the piece of lining, the bigger of the two pieces. Ooh, that's way too much. I need to cut some of that off. Where do I need to cut that off at? So that because you know, every time you start working on something, you add scraps. So we want to work down the scraps, but it also saves money. All right, I have taped that down securely. Go ahead and throw it in the machine and run color stop. 17. I will see you after 17. Woohoo! And there we go. That's all nice and tacked down. Now we need to do the top. Grab your other piece that has the 1/2 inch folded under and line it up with the cut like so. And remember, we got to tape this down so that it doesn't go anywhere, do anything, jump off the hoop, get caught up, fold over, blah, blah, blah. And because I'm paranoid, I am also going to run a little piece right there. All right, throw it in the machine and run color stop 18. I will see you after 18. So you'll notice on that only came all the way to here. There's about 1 inch left to tack down this upper lining. We do that so that we can open our zipper and our zipper head does not get trapped outside the bag. Because what good is a permanently closed bag? I have no idea. So we're gonna open, oops, and we're gonna cut that, ew. And then we're gonna put the ribbon back and put the vinyl back and put the tape back. And we are gonna run color stop 19, which will not only close the rest of that up, but it will give us die lines for our ribbon and hardware attachments. So I will see you after 19. So there we go. We've got our zipper all the way tacked closed, and now we have 3 die lines. You can either do 2 top attach or a side attach. I'm gonna do all 3 because I'm extra. So I'm gonna fish one of the pieces of hardware through the ribby ribbon, and I'm going to line up the ribby ribbon, and I'm going to tape on both the top and tape the bottom down so that my metal does not jingle jangle in the machine. And I'm also going to tape that zipper head so it doesn't flop around. Floppy metal bit's bad. And then I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna do this one too. And then I've made a problem for myself since I'm doing all 3. These 2 pieces are gonna lay over one another, which kind of stinks, but it can be done. And I'm gonna pop it back in the machine, and I'm going to run color stop 20, and I will see you after 20. So now we're on to color stop 21. Color stop 21 is where we attach the back, except that we are going to attach the back to the front of your hoop, pretty side down. We want to make sure that we are completely covering our die lines, left, right, center. And we are going to just use a little bit of tape to hold it in place. You don't have to use a whole bunch, unless you're paranoid, and then you can use it all. Make it a big giant hoop burrito. And we are going to run color stop 21. I will see you after 21. So now we have attached the back to our bag. We're gonna flip our hoop over, and we are going to attach the last piece of lining. So take your last piece of lining, and we want pretty side to pretty side. So we're gonna place it like so, and that is way too big. So let's see if I can't cheat a little bit so that I'll have leftovers to do something else. And I'm going to tape this side down. And I'm going to tape this side down. And I'm going to tape the top down. And I'm playing dangerous here. I'm gonna leave this untaped so that when I cut this off, I'll have a, looks like a piece big enough to do a lining, a back lining. We'll see. All right, throw it in the machine, run 22. Do not run 23. 23 is a dead stop, don't worry about it. I will see you after 22. Oh my God, we're done stitching. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this bad boy out of the hoop. There we go. And then we're gonna get rid of this hoop because you know, if I leave it anywhere within reach, I'm gonna screw something up. Because it's me. All right. Now, the very first thing we wanna do is we wanna come back here and we wanna create ourselves a turny tab. So we wanna grab both pieces of lining. And we want to see where it ends here. We want to cut. So, and I am probably going to be leaving myself a hellacious amount of fabric for my turny tab, but that's okay. Better too much than not enough. And then, just because we're paranoid, we're gonna tape it out of the way while we cut and trim this bag. Why? Because I have been known to cut off my turny tab, and it can be saved, but it's a pain in the butt. So we want to make sure that's out of the way. We're going to flip this over. I like using my roto cutter as much as possible to trim down my bag because it's just 4 straight lines. There's one. Oops. And I probably need a new blade, so I will have to talk to the hubs about that. Because if I try to do it myself, I will wind up in the ER and short one finger. And then 2. And then 3. And then, just to make sure that my turny tab is safe, I'm gonna cut on this side. Yes, I am. And voila. Ooh, and boy, was that crooked. Let's see if we can't clean that up a little bit. Because that is UGLY. I ain't got no alibi. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. There, that's cleaner. It's still not perfectly straight, but then, you know. Then we're gonna curvy, curvy, curvy. Curvy, curvy, curvy. Curvy, curvy, curvy. And curvy, curvy, curvy. There we go. Now, we're gonna find our turny tab, and we are gonna take all this tape away. Set it over here. We're gonna reach our finger in. We're gonna go to a corner, and we are going to do a turn all of the lining to the outside of your bag. You want to go slow, careful, methodical. You don't want to rip any of your seams, because then you either have to throw it on the machine, not your embroidery machine, your sewing machine, or you have to hand sew it. And I know some of you hate hand sewing, and some of you don't even own a sewing machine. So I highly recommend go slow, go careful, pay attention to what you're doing. Now, your bag should have absolutely all of the lining on the outside. Okay, now we are going to tuck our turny tab in like so. How so? This so. And we are going to pin along the top so that we don't have to use 19 hands to try and keep this closed while we're quick stitching. And if you are so absolutely horrendously against hand sewing, you can use some Stitch Witch or hem tape or seam tape, heat activated. Put it right between these two pieces of fabric, pop an iron on it, and it'll steam it, glue it shut. Just be careful if you're doing a vinyl bag. Do not melt your vinyl. That would so suck. All right, now we grab our needle and thread. Come here. And we're just going to whip stitch this close. When Kel shows you guys this, she does a blind stitch. That's because Kel is a goddess and I am not. I am going to do the world's ugliest, probably ladder stitch or whip stitch, whichever one, you know, floats my boat. And then starting here, I'm going to fast forward so you don't spend 10 minutes watching me hand stitch. Okay, there we go. We have stitched it closed and it looks like the work of Dr. Frankenstein, but we're okay with that. Now we are going to reach our hands in here and we are going to see how much of this tapey tape we can take off. I would like to take it all off. Woohoo! Naked bag. I'm going to earn myself a PG-13 rating. All right, now find a corner, any corner, and start pushing out through the zipper hole, like so. And, oh, stuffy, stuffy, stuffy. You are going to need to grab something stiff and rounded and long and pointy. Well, not too pointy. And poke out the rest of your corners. Walk your seams. There you go. There you go. Squish, squish, squish. And because this vinyl has spent its entire life flat, and now we're trying to get it to turn at a 90 degree, you are probably going to have to train your vinyl. You can stack all of the books on top of it and let it sit. You can put it between the mattress and the box spring and sleep on it for a while. Or, my favorite, you can take some clover clips and a little piece of felt to keep the clover clips from putting dents in it. And you can walk your seam or roll your seams and then clip them and let it sit for a couple of hours. And voila. All right, guys, add your dangle because there are animal cracker dangles in the zip file. And there you have it, your fully lined animal cracker zip bag. Peace.